Okay, welcome everybody to the webinar, Discover What DIALux Evo Can Do For You. It's a really pleasure for me to say hello to participants from all over the world who are interested in which way DIALux can support you in your daily work about lighting design and light planning. My name is Klaus. I'm the team leader of the DIAL Academy here in Lüdenscheid, Germany. And I also would like to welcome my colleague, Ariane. Ariane is one of the persons who is responsible for the training at DIAL, even for the DIALux Evo training. She has a lot of experience over years in working with DIALux Evo and in training with DIALux Evo. And in this webinar, we have two parts. I'd like to start with some general things, some general information about DIALux Evo. Then Ariane will continue by a presentation, what you can do with DIALux Evo. And during my presentation, we have some questions because we are very curious about who you are and what your daily work is. And well, I will ask you three questions, and I would like to invite you to answer these questions. They are not very difficult. Don't be afraid. But yeah, it's just that we would like to know who you are and what you are doing. Let's just start with the first question. How much of your working time do you spend on lighting design or on light planning? This is our first question. Could you start it, Ariane? Yeah, here it is. How much of your working time do you spend on lighting design or light planning on average? Of course, it's just an estimation, but just do a try. Is it your really daily business and you do nothing else than positioning luminaires and do lighting calculation? Or is it just from time to time and your main job is something different? And yeah, it's just an estimation. How many percentage of your working time do you spend on lighting design or lighting calculation? Okay, at the moment we have 77% of the attendees who answered this question. Maybe the other ones, I would like to invite you, just an estimation. So don't be afraid, nothing right or nothing wrong. Okay. So now we have 90% of you answered this question. So I will just end it and share the results with you. And here we are. So most of you spent between 30 and 60% of the working time with lighting design or light planning on average. And yeah, that's quite an average value. Okay, thank you very much for answering this question. So now I'd like to continue some general information about DIALux, some facts. Maybe you know it, that DIALux exists for over nearly 30 years now. And DIALux, the first DIALux version was released in 1994. So next year, it's 30 years. DIALux is a software which you can use free of charge. This is absolutely free, and when we visit a fair, always people would like to know, yeah, how much does it cost, and is it a trial version, and how much does it cost for what is the fee for the full version? And we always say it's free of charge. It's just one version, and this is a completely full version with all features you can use. Why this is free of charge, I will tell you some minutes later. So DIALux Evo is available in 26 languages. Maybe during the presentation, Ariane will show you where you can switch the language, 26 languages, because it's spread all over the world, and we would like to make it easy for everybody to use the software. and we have more than 750,000 users worldwide. Okay. Here you see how many users we have per continent. So most of the DIALux Evo users come from Europe, the European countries. Then a lot of DIALux Evo users come from Asia, even in China, it's very popular, and South America. Just a little user number we have in North America. North America, it's a little bit different business from Europe, but if, of course, it's available in North America, you can download it, you can use it, even if you come from the US or from Canada, free of charge. And we also have some lighting manufacturers from the US as DIALux members. And so it should be no barrier to use the software for you, even if you come from the US. Even quite interesting number of users we have in Africa, as you can see here. In DIALux Evo, of course, you can do lighting calculation to improve the visual effects, to show your clients how your lighting will look like in the project, but you can also do normative proofs, and we support different norms. That means that DIALux Evo knows the different specification from different countries. Of course, we have the European norm EN 12464 Part 1 for interior lighting implemented, and also EN 12464 Part 2 for exterior lighting. It's not on the screen here because it's the interior setting we have, but if you turn to exterior, you will also find the Part 2 of the European norm and some road lighting norms as well, the EN 13201, for example, and we have some special norms according to the standards in, I guess, Japan as well, Netherlands, and I guess Italy and some other countries. And here you will also find the US and Japan. We support also the IESNA lighting handbook, regulations and standards, as you can see here. So you just have to choose for which country you are working, and then you can choose a standard, and DIALux automatically knows the required values according to the standard. And now let's go to the next question. We are very interested in how often you use DIALux Evo. We recognize that a lot of people download the software, try it out, and use it between 1 or 4 times a year. And this is the main idea as well of this webinar, Discover What DIALux Evo Can Do For You, to show all the people what you can really do with DIALux Evo, the ways which are possible that you get support from DIALux Evo, even if you are not sure, if you not really know all features, and if you're not sure if DIALux Evo might be interesting for you. And here, let's start with the next question. How often do you use DIALux Evo? Is it really every day? So does it belong to your daily business? Is it just 1 to 3 times per week, 1 to 3 times per month, 1 to 3 times per year? Or are you completely new in the world of DIALux Evo? So of course you haven't used it yet, but you're interested in it, of course, otherwise you won't attend this webinar, I guess. Okay. Yeah, very interesting. 91% of you already answered this question. Okay, 93%. Yeah, some slight changes again. So I will close this poll and show the results to you. And here are the results. So, well, this is quite an interesting number who use this software every day, but most of you, I guess, use it 1 to 3 times per week or 1 to 3 times per month. Okay, thank you. Very interesting. So I just talked about the users, 750,000 users worldwide we have in DIALux Evo. And here you see a diagram which shows the sector distribution worldwide of DIALux. And most of our users work in engineering offices, over 29%. Then the second number would be the electricians. People who do the electrical planning, of course, are also responsible for lighting design and light planning, and that's the reason why they use DIALux Evo. And then we have, of course, lighting design offices and architectural offices, also a certain amount of luminaire traders or wholesalers. Okay. Yeah, as I already told you, their DIALux Evo is free of charge for the user. And why is it free of charge for the user? The reason for this is that we have DIALux members. DIALux members are luminaire manufacturers from the different countries worldwide. At the moment, we have more than 190 luminaire manufacturers. We call them DIALux members, and they spend a certain amount of money each year to make their electronic catalog, their plugin, available in DIALux Evo. That means that you can do your lighting design, your light planning with luminaires, with real existing luminaires of these manufacturers who have an article number, who have a special lighting distribution. And it's also possible for these manufacturers to create a 3D model. If you have decorative luminaires or very interesting housings, interesting shapes of the luminaires, then it is possible for these manufacturers to create 3D models. It's interesting for the visualization, of course, that you and your clients see how the luminaire looks like. And the reason for DIALux Evo to be free of charge is that these manufacturers spend the money each year to be visible, to have the luminaires available in DIALux Evo. Since the DIALux Evo version 11, that's the current version, DIALux Evo 11 we have at the moment. And since this version, it is necessary to register before you use DIALux Evo. It's still free of charge, don't be afraid, but you have to enter your email address and password once, and then you get a so-called DIALux ID, and then you can continue with your work in DIALux Evo. And this is new. We introduced it in DIALux Evo 11. As I told you, DIALux, of course, is free of charge. Everybody can use it. And well, we have some features which might be interesting, which are not free of charge. You can try them out. And if they are interesting for you, you can choose to buy these features. And it's not a yearly, it's a monthly fee. We have a pro feature layout. That means if you would like to create your individual layout in the documentation, you can choose this pro feature. That means that you have another tool available to define the size of the pictures in your documentation, the size of the letters, the type of the letters, and so on. You can do your individual design for the documentation, but we already have in this DIALux Evo standard version a lot of templates for different layouts. So if you're not willing to have a very, very individual layout there, you can also work with the standard templates, which are free of charge, of course. And the other pro feature you can buy is the pro feature export. If you use the standard version of DIALux Evo, you can print out your documentation or you can save it as a PDF. But if you would like to do a PowerPoint presentation or create a Word document, or if you would like to have these tables in an Excel sheet, this is possible with the pro feature export. And there you have these some more features there with this Pro features. Okay, and before we come to the presentation of Ariane, I still have a last question for you. And the last question is, if you use any other software besides DIALux Evo for your lighting calculation. I do not mean Word or any Excel tools or any tools or any software for editing pictures. We really mean lighting calculation software, where you can do visualization and really do calculation of light and the illumination. And it's just interesting for you to get to know if you use, besides DIALux Evo, any other software tools for this. Okay, 78% answered this question. So now we have 80%, 82%, 84%. Yeah, okay. Maybe you have to think about it first. 90% of the attendees answered this question. Okay, thank you very much. And I will share the results with you again. And yeah, most of you just use DIALux Evo. That's very that's very interesting for us. And of course, it's very fine. Okay, so. And now let's get over to you, Ariane. I would like to hand over to you with the DIALux Evo presentation. Just a hint. Sorry, I forgot it. During the presentation, you have the possibility to ask your questions. You have a little tool which is called Q&A, and I will do my very best to answer your questions about DIALux Evo during the presentation of Ariane. And after the presentation, maybe we can talk about some interesting questions to show it to all of you, which might be interesting for everybody. And yeah, you can just type in your question and I will try to answer it. Okay, see you in some minutes. Bye.
Yeah, okay. So I also want to welcome you. Hello, I'm happy about your interest. And I have prepared for the start different projects to give you an overview about the wide range of DIALux, what you can do with the software. And you see now one project maybe only for the using for the normative proof. It's a warehouse only in grayscale, so we spend not so much time for the interior design for using materials and colors. But we have here the shelves and some room elements integrated so that we can make the normative proof. I can open the result overview here, for example, that you can see we have inserted some calculation surfaces. So that's here the main idea, that we have the normative proof and a bigger project, but only in grayscale. And the other example is the same. So I will change here. It's also the content here for the normative proof, a storage room, also only the important things for the lighting design, also here the column and beams to find the right mounting position. So some of these line arrangements are suspended. And also here we integrated some calculation surfaces also here on vertical sides here from the shelves. And this is the aim, but also in this example, I can show you that we can use also the plan import for images. So when you have, for example, in PDF file, you can make a screenshot and also use here the details of an PDF plan when you have imported this and as an image and you have not a DWG file, for example. I think that's very good now. And also in the background, in the documentation later, we can see this. I will go forward also with some other examples that I can show this then later in the documentation. So yeah, these two examples are the normative proof, but also Klaus said also that we have maybe only the main idea to show the light visualization, the lighting concept, and that's also a strong impression here that we have a glass facade, for example, can see from the outside in the interior, and you can have different stories, so the whole building is given here, and in 3D it's a very good impression. You can save images and bring that also in the documentation. You can use the 3D models. Klaus said there's here the spot, for example, we have there the 3D models, and also here this line on the in the foyer is very good here for this impression. Okay, so that is a bigger project about more stories. We have also the stairs here. Maybe there's a normative proof that we have here a calculation surface later. That's possible. And I think the most use cases are that you are planning one story, like this example. Here it is a little bit more interior design given. We have materials on the bottom. We have some colors. We have also colored lighting here. So color temperature is different. You can use this with light scenes. And also here some 3D models here, like this floor standing luminaires, and also some spotlights here in 3D. So the visualization is very good, and you have also the relationship between the rooms, because also here in this project we have glass, and you see the light here in each part, and the real impression here. So that's the two differences, I would say, that we have the normative proof and the visualization. And also I will say an add-on is the big feature what is given now with the DIALux Evo 11, that we have here the energy estimation tool. You can analyze your rooms according to, or depending on daylight. So what can you save when you are using daylight? That makes sense when you have here windows in your project, in your room. And you can see here an example for this room. You find on the right side then the very detailed calculation, and you see saving potentials, and can documentate it in also for each room then here in the documentation. I think that's also a very good tool. And we have there also a video on our YouTube channel if you are interested in it. There we explain it a little bit more in detail. And also we have the emergency lighting. That is an example here. We have different calculation surfaces at the moment. The automatism is here that we can save time when we are placing anti-panic surfaces or escape routes, and we are developing more features here in future. So it will come here at this time or this place in the software. You see it here in the 3D view, but also in 2D, we can place this surfaces and have an overview. And I think it's more impressive when I change to the light mode and to the emergency luminaire part. Then we are automatically in the emergency light scene. So you can use this feature in the same project, and you have two light scenes. So one for the normal light and one for the emergency light scene. And if you like, you can, or I can show you here this example when I'm using one luminaire. We can place them in different emergency groups. We can define the lighting factor, also emergency lighting factor, or I know the luminous flux for the emergency lighting. Maybe you have 100% emergency luminaire, then it is automatically given in ULD files. And here it is interesting to use then the force color preview. You find here the colors. Then I need to be more or over 1 lux, that is here given in blue. And you see it now here in this project automatically. And here in 2D, when I moving the luminaire, then you see what's happened, that it will change. And you can plan very easily the distances of the luminaires that you can fulfill here the emergency lighting in this case. Okay, so but what is also given, we have the exterior lighting. Yeah, so when we start, I will show also later here the start screen. So we have the possibility for exterior and interior for different buildings. That is an example that has also some materials and colors, and you see here the 3D trees and so on. So that's a really detailed planning, I would say. We have also some situations here in backwards from the buildings. And you can here also do the normative proof. When I open here the results overview, you see the different calculation surfaces, maybe for the car park here, or the entry, or a logo at the facade. So these are different situations, and you can illuminate this and get also results. So what you need, you can plan it very detailed. Yeah, the other one, also an example for exterior lighting. It is a little bit more simple. We have some buildings, but everything is in gray. And we spend not so much time for the details, but here it is necessary to have a look on the right reflection factors of the surfaces of your floors or buildings. And then you can also have some different calculation surfaces, or maybe also here one different spaces. So you can place some spaces, for example, here to go in more detail, a space that is called here cleaning. And I have this, then also in the documentation, and we have here for these assessment zones own summary pages. That is also good here. Okay, so these examples, and I would show you also here now the workflow. But before I will, let me see, we have here, I will show you the start screen. So the workflow is first that you have to open a DIALux Evo, and then you find here these user interface on the start screen. You have on the left side the possibilities or different possibilities to start. The outdoor and building planning is that what I've shown. So you have each function in the user interface and can start from the beginning, or use the same, but first start with an import. You can naturally start also here in the outdoor and building planning, but maybe you want to start first with directly import. And then it's possible to load different plans. I will click on it to show you the example files. You find it here, so you can see we have the image import, so maybe the screenshot from your PDF files, but also DWG, DXF, and so on. And the third one is the room planning. I think that's very good when you are a beginner, because when you are using the room planning, you have here the possibility to type in different values, and then you get a rectangular room automatically. So the construction is finished, and you can go forward with more details for the lighting design and maybe place some calculation surfaces and so on. So that is given here, and also a possibility to draw without a plan, so free room shapes, you can use the tab key and type in the values for lengths and also for angles. That's also here possible. So I click on cancel, because down under you find another button for the street lighting that is according to the EN 13302, another GUI, and maybe also interesting, the simple indoor planning, but you have not all functions there, only the important functions. And you have only a rectangular room and can only place an automatic arrangement here in this room. So that is also for a very fast planning process, I would say. In the middle, you find the overview of the projects that you have used in the last time. Maybe here, this is my screen that shows the projects that I have opened at the moment. And on the right, you find other links to our academic, for example, or to our YouTube channel. You can try it also here out if you like and are interested in this. Okay, so that is here the part. Then I would go first to the settings, because Klaus said this, we have the possibility to use the different languages. So under the settings, you can change here your setting for the languages. And also interested, I think, the length units that you can change here from metric to imperial system. And you can also have a look to the different settings. Since DIALux Evo 10, we are developing this more and more. You find here more settings, and in details, I think that's also interesting to use here the calculation settings, let me see here in the project, maybe you want to change the automatism for the reflection factors for the room surfaces. So this is interesting, as also for the working plane, interior and exterior. So have a look on this, and maybe also you can use many keyboards, or shortcuts in the keyboard overview here. Okay, so that is the start screen. I have shown you the different types of projects, but I've seen in the polls that you have, or that we have some people there who have never used that. And I think it's also interesting that you can start very easily. So for this, I want to show you the workflow when, how it works when I'm importing a plan. So I've prepared here this plan, I open it, and I get it very fast here, and have then an assistant for the construction, or first for the placement of this plan. Maybe you have also imported this image, then it is the same workflow. First, I have the assistant to place the origin point and define the x-axis, so the direction of the x-axis. Then you click it, or in this DWG, I can say next. I can then select the units if I know this. When not, I can use the dimension line. So when you are making a screenshot, don't forget to have there one dimension line that you can define the right scale also for an image. So I type it in and say enter. Then DIALux knows, aha, that is in meter. I can say finish. And then the plan is imported. Then, I'm also in this whole construction mode. So the first part is in the workflow that we first construct something, then we can illuminate it, we can place different calculation objects. And when I'm finished, I can say I want to export maybe a DWG file or some images, and also the documentation. So on the top, you go from the left to the right. And for each mode, you find on the left side the different functions. Here at the moment for the construction, I can use it, for example, to show here in my cut view how it works. At the moment, I have only one tab here for the side view because nothing is constructed. Can change to the 3D view. You see it here. Nothing has happened, only the plan. So I can go to the story and building construction and draw a new room. That's very simple here. Draw a new room. I click the indoor contour of this room, for example. Make a right click to close it. And yeah, then the room is constructed. I can display also here the designation. So room 1 at the moment. Go to the 3D view and you see that I have constructed my first room. You can go forward with draw new room and have the possibility to construct more rooms in this story. Yeah, I think then the workflow is maybe you want to place some apertures or windows. I think that's important to know because glass has not so good reflection. So when you are knowing more details about windows, I would say please insert it also. Then the room elements are important for the mountain heights and maybe some furniture or materials, you can use them. And after that, you can go to the light mode. I will show this here also in this example because we are very simple. I forgot something because I want to show you the automatic arrangement for spaces. So that means I can select a luminaire and DIALux make an automatic arrangement. But before that, you can use the spaces. So you find it here in this light mode, but also in the construction. So normally I'm here in the spaces. I click in my room and find the details. And here is the utilization profile that Klaus showed also in the presentation, that we have here the possibility of for using the different standards. In my project, I can use here now the EN 12464, and I can select that I have a seminar room. So I choose my educational buildings. It's a tab 44. Yeah, and can go maybe, I will say classrooms, for example. Then I have here the standard. I get the information. So for me, when I'm a beginner, also as a lighting designer, I find the information, what is the visual task for classrooms. So I need to be over a value of 500 lux average illuminance. And more details about uniformity. Some use times are also given. So it's not only the normative proof for the illuminance, we have the use times that we can say what is here the energy demand per year. You find that in the documentation. And that is regarding here, you find it down under the different standards we are using here for these profiles. And now with this information of 500 lux, I can change to the light mode. By the way, the working plane information is given here and the maintenance factor. And then I can select one luminaire from my history. Let me see, maybe this one here. You can say last use or maybe luminaire count. Now I have nothing here. Or I want to sort or filter by the luminous flux and so on. That is here given. But I know I want to have this luminaire. Then it's in my active window. And now I say automatic arrangement for spaces, and DIALux, makes here this suggestion. And I find a little bit down under here the estimate calculator, and you find here the target 500 lux. That is, depending on my utilization profile. So this is here the information. And at the moment, with these 8 luminaires, I have round about 600 lux. Without calculation, I get this information. So the main idea, save time as a planner. And you can use this feature. We are now here in different types. You see now I have a site, building, a story, and a room view that is possible. Now I'm here in the story and I can have a look on the site, because also this view is interesting, because my pendant luminaire is at the moment here under the ceiling. So it's better that I say, okay, I want to use that is a suspended length. I can move it, or you find at the bottom here information and can type in a suspended length if you like. So that is the workflow. Then you are calculating, placing some more calculation surfaces and so on, and then you go to the documentation. I have prepared it, so I changed this in this project. You see it now. We have here different types of luminaires integrated, windows. So this is an example for more detailed planning. We have the board here on the wall, and calculating with wall washers. And here, when I'm open the result overview, you find many results. Because I have more than one room in the story. So in the story view, I get in the result overview all results of work planes, but you find here, for example, in the Office 1, we have here different types of calculation surfaces. So that is according to the EN 12464 for workplaces. So I'm planning or constructing only the this surface about the tables, and then I get automatically the surrounding area and the background area, and I have here the 3 results. I can open it more in detail. I find the target, about the average of illuminance, and the uniformity, what is given, my height of the work calculation surface, for example, here. But we find also some rooms. Here the work plane in Office 2 is not fulfilled. I can click on it, then I see here automatically in this view this work plane. Maybe I change to the 2D view, also the results. And I can find out what's here the problem, can analyze it, and maybe I correct my luminaire arrangement, or I change the luminaires. So that's on your on your side. We have also the possibility for calculating UGR, so different calculation parameters. You are very flexible and can plan your project according to your needs. So that's very good here. As a beginner, I think it's also interesting here with the settings. So you find it here, what is given. So when you are fulfilling the values, then you have here the green sign, but normal calculation surfaces are then also sometimes in gray, because there is nothing target given. So in some cases, it's also gray. This is a part. Maybe the last one example, I think I would close the round with here one impressive project about the visualization. So we have here a private house with some exterior lighting. And here was the wish of the customer that we are using light scenes, because this room here with a glass facade, this living room, is not so big. We have also the kitchen here in this part, in this space. And with light scenes, you can be more flexible and have different impressions. So maybe they cook and we are using the light scene kitchen. I will show this, that you can plan and design the situation when you are maybe more in the kitchen space, or what is happening here when we are eating. So you can practice different light scenes for the visualization, for your lighting concept, but also you can use light scenes maybe when you are want to show that you can save energy when you are dimming some luminaires down. So that's the other part here. Okay, so I think for me, let me check here my notices. One thing I think I can show in the storage. I have shown first that you see DIALux supports us in different ways. That is one, I think it's very interesting, because why we are using this calculation surfaces. So you find here what I said, we have only gray surfaces. So I placed them in this project very flexible. I want to use them, and I have placed them here in the shelf front. Yeah, and I find out after the calculation, yeah, we have here some isolines, yeah, with values about or more than 500 lux. And here on the other side, not. We have here another light distribution. So I'm here, yeah, about 300, 200 lux. So what is here the reason for this? Because the arrangement looks like the same. And that is very good why I can see that directly. Maybe the situation is then that we have different luminaires, for example. So I click on the luminaire and find it out. Maybe about the light distribution curves, we can display this. I see it also here in this window of the active luminaire. And when I go to the other line, then you see it's another light distribution, also another project. I can correct it and calculate once again, for example, or maybe it should be in this case because we have here another space. So yeah, you can use the 3D view, also everything here in the 2D view or in the side views. I think that's very good for, yeah, proving also here or checking the mountain heights, for example. So you have an overview, I hope, about the wide range of DIALux, and I think Klaus has many questions. So yeah,
thank you.
If you like, I will answer.
So far. Thank you for the very interesting presentation. And yeah, you're absolutely right. There had been lots of questions, and I tried to answer them. And for the other ones, maybe you may have a look in the F and Q tab. There you see the questions and the answers. But we have some interesting questions. Maybe you can show it or answer it directly. There was one question regarding, there had been lots of questions regarding norms. One question was, you showed where you can choose this EN12464 part 1 and the different, in the space tool and the different requirements. Could you also show it how it could be done for the exterior, for public spaces, where you can do the choose of the EN12464 part 2, for example? Maybe you can just go to the side. Yeah.
So yeah, I use this project, I think. So yeah, the tool is the same when you are using spaces. But first, I think I can go for the whole site. So when you are not using any spaces, then you find this function under construction in the second function here in the site. And yeah, here is the main utilization profile for the exterior side. Here you can change it when you click on edit, and then you get here other here's the default. You find it also the information that is here, the default setting, and you can change it here at the top. And when you are constructing different spaces, maybe here the car park or in the back the delivery and so on, then you can go to spaces, you can construct different spaces, and then you click on this space. Let me check, this is nothing space. Sorry, I will show one, for example, here I construct one space, then the results are, that value. You find now this space here in a new tab. And when it is active, you can also define here another detailed utilization profile. So you have here different possibilities too.
Yeah, and because you're working at the site and not in a building, DIALux knows that the exterior norm has to be relevant. Maybe you can just press a button edit to show that we have this, for example, European norm and one tab above, maybe the Europe preset when you go above.
Here the parking area, for example, or what you need.
This, if you press this button, there you can also choose different norms from the US and so on. Yes. Okay. Then Another question was, if you do the construction of a room, how is it possible to create an arced shape of the walls? So something like the curved wall. What would be the workflow? Maybe you can just show it with a simple room or with a simple
where is it?
polygonal line.
This one is here. That was my start.
Yeah.
We have here only rectangular contours, but I can show this
matter.
when I go construct. This third icon, also the draw new room shape is good. So maybe in this room, I can define a curve. So here you need to click more points. And I prefer, or here's a tip, that you use the shift key. So then we have no snap. And then you can draw very good curved lines, for example. So I have the shift key, and after that, maybe I close this room, then you see it. So like this. And when I go to the 3D view, then you have this here. So curves are given with more points.
Yeah, exactly. It's important that real curve does not exist, even if you have a piece of furniture. It's always a polygonal line with a certain amount of points, and the more points you set, the more detailed the curve or the shape will be. Okay, thank you very much, Ariane. And then we had a question about to duplicate a room. I already answered it, that the duplication of a room is not really possible, but you can duplicate a story. Do you have a project with a complete building where we can show how to duplicate a story, or maybe the warehouse you had, if you would like to
I can also show this here in this example for you. So I think that is also a question that many participants ask in our seminars. So we can't duplicate a room, but if you like to plan different variants maybe for the customer, you can try it out about this feature that you duplicate the story too. So I have then the two rooms here in this example duplicated. So when I click on it, I can define how many copies I want. I can everything copy. So maybe you have done your planning with calculation surfaces, with the luminaires, with room elements, and so on. Then you can duplicate it exactly like this. And you have a second story then here. And maybe then your story 1 is variant 1 and the copy is then variant 2. So you copy not to the side, you copy above. So that's here the workflow, and it
could you just go to the building in the 3D, to the building view or to the story view?
Okay. So this is a side. You see now the both rooms, and it is possible also with the other stories and so on.
Of course, and you can delete one of these stories afterwards if you don't need it anymore.
Yeah, that is here. You can delete the top. Each time there is a story which is the top, you can delete it here with this X. Yeah.
Okay. Then there was a question. I guess we have some time for just two questions. Another question was calculation surfaces. Could you just show briefly where you can edit the points of a calculation surface, if you would like to change the number or the distance of the calculation points?
I can use this here, for example, because we have here different calculation surfaces, and I can place also one. So I use here the seminar room because, here we have, so for example, also furnitures. Then I can show also the automatically arrangement or placement for the surfaces. So I changed to calculation objects. The first tool here on the left side, you can draw rectangular and polygonal, and that is also the first step. So I change here mostly in the 2D view, start with rectangular. Maybe I click first on the bottom and then I move to the table. So I hold the left mouse key for the first point, or I firstly click here directly on the table. And then I can show this in the 3D view, the difference. So one surface is automatically placed on the table. The other one is down under, but you can move them and also change here the position, also here in this view. And then after maybe changing the name under the properties, then here it is important that you can use different parameters for the calculation. So default is the perpendicular illuminance, but you have horizontal, vertical, here cylindrical is also possible. And the settings, so here is it automatically, but you can change quantity of points or the distance. Sometimes it's necessary in the exterior lighting. So you find it here. You can place also on X and Y edge if you want. Yeah,
Okay.
that is here given.
Thank you. And it's really relevant. You have to keep that in mind. Where you place the first point of your calculation surface, because DIALux snaps the height, and that was a reason why this first calculation surface was under the table and the second one on the top of the table. Okay, but nevertheless, you can move it afterwards, as Ariane already showed. Yeah, then we had some special wishes according to norms, for example, according to Australian norms, or according to norms from New Zealand, or according to tunnel lighting. Of course, we know all the wishes. We have a long wish list, and that's not the very first time we hear these wishes. But I would like to recommend you to post your wishes in our community. Maybe Ariane, you can show it, because the benefit is when you post it in our community, other people who attend the community have the possibility to upvote your feature wish, and then it has a really high chance to become realized in one of the next versions. Yeah,
some words. The community is, I think very new. So it's published 3 months ago. You can use your own DIALux ID, so that works here directly. So you don't have to register new, you use your ID. And yeah, you see now I am also here logged in, and the last point is the feature upvote. You find here a long list, and yeah, you have one part or for each theme you can vote. And I have the information from our developers that they are picked up some of these themes that they want to develop in the next versions. So I think this is very interesting here.
Yeah, you see, sorry for interrupting you, but you see planned means that they are actually planning to realize it, and then progress means that this, for example, the DIALux IFC export, it's about BIM, Building Information Modeling System in progress, means that it's nearly close to the release, because this is one feature we will release with the DIALux Evo 12. Which is going to be released in autumn this year, by the way. And you really see online on which topics we are working at the moment.
Yes. Yeah, and also you get here information if you like to contact our team from the support. So you find this here also in the community, but many other questions and answers. You can find very much information, or also something about the update, lighting knowledge, project showroom. So I think that's very interesting. In addition to our newsletter that you use here, the community.
Yeah, it's completely free of charge as well. Just try it out. You can get in touch with other DIALux Evo users. Maybe you have a problem and you can post it there, and anybody else has a solution or an idea for it. So yeah, it's very interesting. And you can also show your projects. There are really some amazing projects people created with DIALux. But if you're a very beginner, don't be afraid. This is not a project which could be realized when you just started with DIALux Evo. You have to have a lot of practical experience. Don't be afraid. Maybe in future. This is also very interesting. The picture on the right is a real photo, and the picture on the left is a visualization in DIALux Evo, this church you see here. Okay, thank you very much, Ariane. Then let's get back to our presentation. I will just share my screen again. So, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, just some words again from my side. If you're interested in getting to know more about DIALux Evo, we offer an official webinar. This was just a brief introduction in 60 minutes what DIALux Evo can do for you. But if you would like to get some more information about DIALux Evo, we offer a live webinar. It's about 1 day, 4 times 90 minutes. And there it is possible to ask directly questions to the trainer, to interact with the trainer, to ask your personal questions, to let us know your ideas. And it's a step-by-step webinar, of course. There you have the possibility to download training material. It's in English language. And during the webinar, we invite you to do your practical exercises. And then we talk about problems which appeared or if everything was fine. So this webinar we offer 3 times in August, on the 10th of August, on the 16th of August, and on the 22nd of August. The time you see is Central European summertime. And we have a voucher for you. And the voucher is Discover 10. And with the discount voucher Discover 10, you may get 10% discount on the price of our webinar. And if you're interested in booking this webinar, please visit our website, dialux.com. There in the menu bar, there is the Academy, as you can see it at the top right. And you can select the DIALux Evo Basics for Interior Lighting. That's the webinar I talked about. And when you go to dates and registration, you may register for one of the dates in August I showed you. And if you enter your discount code, you get 10% discount on our price. The price is 395 euros. And just have a look at it. When you go to our website, there you will find a detailed description about which topics we talk, which topics are included in this webinar. And maybe this could be interesting for you. So we will happy to see you again in this webinar in August. Okay. By the way, of course, there you get a certificate for attending and, as I already mentioned, direct support if you have a problem from one of our trainers during the live webinar. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, then just let's say thank you very much for attending this webinar. I hope it was helpful for you. You get a brief overview what DIALux Evo can do for you, in which aspects of your daily work we may support you with our software. And we would be happy if you recommend our webinars and if you just visit our webinar, take part in one of our webinars. And so have a nice day and bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.